Okay, so the other plan that I had wasn't really working, so I'm going to do it like this, and hopefully it'll work. Ignore my cat in the background. So, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder by Megan Griswold, and I am a nursing student. And I add a little bit of ACDC, Highway to Hey Look a Squirrel, and I have a few animations along the way. And unfortunately, you can't really tell, but at least you'll be able to see some of it. And bam! So it says, I have ADHD. If you could watch the speed of the thoughts going through my brain, you'd think it was a miracle. I'm functioning halfway normal. And then followed by a little thing that I like because I am scatterbrained. A lot of my PowerPoint goes along the lines of how it is to be ADHD. Everything's different, just like that little woohoo. Attention hyper. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, ADHD, affects children and teens that continue on into adulthood. And ADHD is the most commonly diagnosed mental disorder in children. Children with ADHD may be hyperactive and unable to control their impulses, and or they may have trouble paying attention in school. These behaviors interfere with school and home life. It also accounts for adults in the same way. I had a little thing here that I wanted to put up just because ADHD is like one of the primary things that go along with all of these other things. You can't exactly see it. Well, now you can. It goes along with everything. And I actually have, where's my finger at on here? There I am. I actually have OCD along with it and anxiety. And then I talk a little bit about there's no rhyme or reason why we get ADHD. Some of the things that help out with it that cause contributing factors are hereditary for parents. If both of them are ADHD, chances are you might have some of it in you that might get triggered. Exposure to toxic substances, obviously, but that's with everything. Drugs, it's bad to do when you're pregnant or around it. Environmental stress factors like growing up in a crazy house, it makes you go a little crazy, but not in a bad way. Injury to the brain, and trauma from it, strokes, or any diseases that might contribute to it. So how it affects us. I have this really long thing that I talked about how the brain has 5 regions in it, and these regions are involved in the concentration, impulse, inhibition, and the motor activity in the brain of fibril pathways in the tunnels that sends neurotransmitters throughout the electrical impulses of the body. Now picture yourself driving through a highway that has a bunch of tunnels, twists, and turns. Pretend the electrical impulses are the cars carrying the instructions to wherever the body part that it needs to go, and to the desired image of the spinal cord as the weather/the road conditions. In a normal brain, there is like a GPS to guide the way. It's a beautiful day out, which there's one of the slides that's not the beautiful day. Here's the beautiful day that's out there, and there's no wrecks, and you're out on a Sunday drive. People with ADD have a way more challenging road trip. That beautiful day has turned to this, and it's like a tropical storm. It's hard for us to see. The GPS is dead, and we have to refer directions on a map, and they're so complicated to understand. You don't even know what's going on, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. There's tunnels everywhere. So instead of it being like this, it's like that, and it's a nightmare. And I just picked that picture of the head because I thought it was cool looking. So it's pretty hard for us, and the challenges that the nervous system face because of ADHD is, well, like this picture. And I really, really, really liked this picture as far as that goes. And I am so over time. I really hope that this is going to go through. But I have a feeling it's not. There's 3 types. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. There's inattention, impulsivity disorder, and hyperactivity. Each thing affects it differently. Bam! One thing I like to point out is even Disney Channel. Yeah, everybody knows Disney. They broke it down for us for the 3 types. The hyperactivity one, that's combined. It's both in A and B, and it also meet up for the past 6 months. It's hyperactivity, restlessness, disorganizedness, inattentive, and impulsive. So, like me. Or there's the inattentive type, which is the criterion A, which is like, you know, whatever it is. Anyway, and but with that's what they call the poo, and poo is inattentive, sluggish, slow-moving, unmotivated, and a daydreamer. He often wonders and doesn't really. He's poo. There's a little picture of poo. I can't. My phone's like being weird. And then we have Mr. Rabbit. He is overfocused, obsessive, and argumentative. He is the impulsive one. And that actually is very common with people with ADHD. We don't think before we speak, we just act. And the hyperactivity was Mr. Tigger. I just found this chart. I thought it was pretty interesting. It has some of the things that are kind of like our brain. And I thought some of the facts in it were interesting. It said that less than 20% of adults with ADHD have been diagnosed or treated. And that ADHD is a biological condition which both genetic and environmental causes it, which is what I said earlier. And then I also found that it was cool that it said ADHD with adults, they have a hard time getting organized and remembering instructions, initiating projects, and these symptoms can affect their relationships and work life. Hence, right now, where it took me 20 minutes to figure out that I can just do this instead. This little chart, I thought it was kind of cool. It's kind of like, instead of the brain, it's like a pie chart of it. And this is kind of like our thing. As you can see, focused on too many things at once, that's how it is with us. And we're spontaneous. We have no clue what's going on. We are up, down, which way, and all around. And spinny, and we're next. On to the next one. And the signs and symptoms of kids and adults. Oh, let's go back for a second there. I'm not going to touch too much base on it because I am running out of time. But as you can see, it has it in children in adolescence. This is what I used as my basis for the compare and contrast of my first research paper about, you know, how it affects us. I believe that was module 3. And as you can see in adolescence, it talks about the activity and the inattention versus the hyperactivity/impulsivity. And the thing that I really was like an aha moment for me in this was the adults, how the similarities are just uncanny. So we're going to go ahead and move on. And I just found some awesome pictures that I really liked. A different approach instead of going with medications. This is usually the primary thing that, you know, primary care physicians want you to try to start with. You know, don't go sitting there drugging up your kids. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of harmful chemicals in there. So herbal remedies, and then I have a picture of this little guy over here. Ginseng is very calming. And another cool thing that I like is that with ADHD, you know, there are ways around it. You can change your diet. You know, don't eat a bunch of horrible, just crappy food. You know, there's health options. Don't put anything that's got food dyes in it, red dyes, sugar, zinc. It's all bad. And honestly, there's a way around it. Exercising, you know, do some yoga. Try to relax. Get your body involved in stuff. Another thing, you know, your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle. Try to cut out all the drama. And, you know, it's life. You can't get it all out. But you can do things to help cope with it. And last but not least, your attitude has a huge part in ADHD. If you're negative about it, everything's going to feel negative. There's not going to be a way around it. The last thing that I had on there was attitude, organized. You got to stay organized. With this, I found this nifty little chart of the most common medications that are given out there. And the biggest thing for me, let me go back so you can see that. Bam. The biggest thing for me that bothered me was some of these drugs are, you can even see the reactions that people have from it. But the reactions that bother me are that it can cause really bad things to you, make you go crazy in the head, cause the disadvantages outweigh the positives. Like, do you really want to give your kid a drug that's like a class A? And we're almost there, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to kind of rush through this. I just found some cool things. It's my superpower. I have been able to turn this into a blessing. I don't sleep. I just make more money by working night shifts. I'm always happy. I'm bubbly. I stay organized, and I have full of hope and energy, and I just love pandas. And there's my, my references, and I hope you enjoyed this. Stop. Why aren't you stopping?